La da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da da. And again, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, da da
Welcome. I'm Rabbi Jessica Graff, joined by Simon Barrett, Jonathan Dimmick, and our very own Rabbi George Altshuler is on a much-needed vacation. So we are very happy for him to have a few days off with his family. He's been working very hard. So welcome. There are lots of visitors here tonight, I think, and people we haven't seen in a while. So if you're here for the very first time, will you please introduce yourself? We know who you are, so don't. There we go.
We're members of the congregation at Shalom in Berkeley, and we're here celebrating with our church today.
Yay! And can you, Trish, will you tell us what you're all celebrating?
Is a good word pass? my baked-ins.
Yay! Mazel tov. Well, we're so happy that you're able to be here on this particular Shabbat following that very important moment. So, yeah, did you guys hear? So Trish had her Beit Din, which we really could save for Shehechianu, but Trish had her Beit Din and completed the first part of the conversion process, and now you still have the mikvah to visit, yes? Awesome. So we'll get to really celebrate you when it's all completed. But great, welcome. Welcome to San Francisco, to the city. Other visitors? Great. Welcome, Devin. Really happy to have you. Other visitors? Nobody else is here for the very first time? I know. You don't count as a first-timer. Sorry, Charlie. First time in September, Ruth says. Yes, that I'll buy. Just a few announcements before we really jump into our service. Tomorrow morning, please join us back on Zoom. If you like it, great. If you don't, too bad. We're going back to Zoom. And I don't want any more emails about it. It is what it is. For Torah study, it says 9 o'clock. We'll join at 9 to schmooze, but Torah study will really begin at 9:15. And you're all welcome, whether you're a regular Torah study participant or not. Kind of fun to pick up at the very end of the Torah and see where we're headed at the very end of our people's story and into the new story. Next weekend, Friday night and Saturday morning, actually, it's not on the sheet, but the whole weekend we have a guest scholar with us, Rabbi Jeff Salkin. He's going to be giving a drash at services, so you can hear him if you're here. He's going to be leading Torah study. You'll hear him if you're there. And then Saturday night, he's going to be giving the Slichot lecture at 8 p.m. following Havdalah entitled Why Jews Don't Cancel. So I'm intrigued. And please stay for 9 o'clock for the Slichot service, which is beautiful, the changing of the Torah mantles here. The following morning on Sunday, we have the first annual Sheldon Wolf Memorial Lecture that Rabbi Salkin will be delivering, and his title for that is Even Better. So check that out. And then come the high holidays. So I hope you'll join us. Also, I was asked to remind you this is the last weekend for memorial book submissions. The forum closes Tuesday. That's a message from Talia. So if you're interested in having loved ones' names in the memorial book, please be in touch with her by Tuesday. I think that's it. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Craig Etlin, representing our Board of Trustees, to share some words of welcome.
Thank you, Rabbi. I'm not sure what else I can say after you've said pretty much everything, but it is just wonderful to be here, getting ready to enter Shabbat. It's nice and warm inside when it's been cold and windy outside, and I think the warmth of all the people being together. So I'm happy to be here with you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We will begin our service with candle lighting on page 2.
I'm old-fashioned. Let's just do it. Those don't work either? Oh. We'll get Shabbat started somehow. Don't you worry. Aha!
Those don't really work either. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue on page 13 with Mizmor Shir as we begin to let this week go outside, stay out. The sun is setting and our gorgeous windows really light up so beautifully as we enter into Shabbat. Page 13.
Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. And again, sing along. Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. U'yishvelev simcha. Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. U'yishvelev simcha. Back to the top. Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. Ozorua latzadik u'yishvelev simcha. La 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 לצדיק וישרה לב שמחה. עוז ורוח לצדיק וישרה לב שמחה.
We welcome Shabbat to come into our midst, the angels of Shabbat to be with us for 25 hours. And we turn to page 20 now for Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, yishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, shemul tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha merosh mekerem nesucha. Sof maaseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech, kumiori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kvod Adonai alaich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Oiv shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzala, toch emuni am segula. Boichala, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela.
We remain standing and turn to page 28 for Baruch Hu, the call to worship.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed, leolam vaed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
page 32. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. We read together, therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, והם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע
Please be seated. Would you guys over here in the front row like to help Simon sing Ve'ahavta? Sigal, you look terrified, but you couldn't have forgotten Ve'ahavta in the last week. So I know you're well qualified, all of you guys, to lead us on page 36.
Ve'ahavta
Are those apples on your socks?
They are indeed apples.
That's amazing for Elul. Fantastic.
I thought
You know,
about it. Which fruit would I choose?
They're perfect. Next week, honey. We need some honey socks. One of
Maybe
each.
next week.
I just noticed them. I was like, they're so perfect. We continue with our service on page 40, but let's read together at the top of page 39. It feels so appropriate as we head towards these holidays. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
מי כמוך פעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא. מלכותך ראובנך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. צאלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאללה 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 יאללה
As we find ourselves in this month of Elul, thinking about apples and honey, preparing to hear the shofar in just a little bit, we are in the process of doing the hard work of reflecting on this year which is coming to an end, on figuring out what we need to make right, on figuring out what we did really, really well, we want to do again, on thinking about the changes that have come about and the happy parts of the year and the sad parts. So it feels most appropriate that as we think about Hashkivenu, lying down and asking God for a sense of peace, we ask for shleimut, for wholeness and for peace that comes with being in community. Top of page 43, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ushmon tzeitenu Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Baruch atah Adonai, Porei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
We ask for shlemut for ourselves as we find wholeness within ourselves during this time, and also for each other. We pray for healing and wholeness for those in our lives and in our community who are in need of our supportive prayers. We turn to page 253 for Misha Berach. This Shabbat, we pray for the healing and the wholeness of Jim Blattner, Dr. Marion Blumberg, Daniel Burton, Bob Fonarow, Stephen Gerbsman, Marcia Gruskin, William Kurian, William Lowenberg, Philip Rosenberg, Agnes Rothblatt, Judy Wexler, and those whom you mention now. We turn now to page 46. Each of us comes to this place with different words that we need to say out loud, that we need to say to ourselves, that we need to say to each other. And we begin with our tefillah by asking God for the ability to open our lips and to say these words of prayer. Page 46, please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לישן מצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Tired, you're poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the
So I'm going to pass these out. Here, maybe you guys can help me. I only made 30 copies, so I think maybe if you share with someone, that would be ideal. Thanks. Oh, and you know what? I didn't even do a good job of splitting them, but thank you so much. We're just going to look at the text at the very top in all caps. And I really didn't split them evenly, so Zach, you have definitely more on this side than Eric has over here. But they'll make their way around. Thank you so much. As long as you can kind of see one, you're good. So I wanted to take a look at just this little instruction that comes from the Talmud. It might or might not be something that you've seen before at this time of year in thinking about preparing for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And it might mean something different this year if you've seen this in the past, because I think it's a wonderful instruction and will allow us to figure out maybe why the rabbis felt this way. Do we have enough for everybody to kind of see one, sort of kind of see one? And I'll read it to you too. So you don't need to see it, you could hear it. Let's put it that way. Okay, so here is what it says from the Babylonian Talmud in the section called Rosh Hashanah, which seems perfectly appropriate. And thank you, Zach and Eric, so much. It is a greater mitzvah to be with those who sound the shofar than with those who pray on Rosh Hashanah. How so? If there are two cities near a person's residence, and in one city they will sound the shofar, while in the other one they will recite the prayer, the person should go to the place where they will sound the shofar and should not go to the place where they will recite the prayer. Okay. Tiffany is all in favor of this, of this little section from Talmud. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes. Just turn to the person or people around you and discuss. Why do you think this is, this strange instruction? Why could it be? We'll come back together in like 3 minutes. Are you guys ready to report back? Okay, 1 more minute. Okay, so let's share some ideas. I know everybody's still talking. I want to look at the next paragraph just for 1 second because you'll see what the rabbi said, and then I want to know what you think. Zach's going to help us out with the microphone, so thank you so much. But first, I want to look at this little paragraph under the capital letters. Okay, so it starts Pshita. This is easy, easy peasy. That's a rough translation of Pshita. Pshita, it is obvious that one should go to the city where the shofar will be sounded. This mitzvah of hearing the shofar is a biblical one. So the rabbis are now explaining why it's more important, because it's older. Okay, it came from the Torah, whereas the mitzvah of praying Musaf, they're assuming this is referring to Musaf, but we could say any prayer service, is a rabbinic one. So a biblical mitzvah trumps a rabbinic one. Why are we even talking about this? That's what the rabbis say. Okay, but then they go on, no, it's a necessary point to teach that even if the prayer is a certainty and that the shofar blowing is a mere possibility, one should go to the city where there is the possibility of hearing the shofar rather than the one where you might certainly hear the prayer. Okay, why do you think this is? What did you guys discuss? Anybody come up with any ideas? Okay, David. Zach, if you don't mind being our runner. Thank you. Oh, and thanks. We even have extra copies. Yay.
Based on our discussion, because you can pray in your sleep, you can pray by rote, but the shofar is a wake-up call.
Aha, you can pray by rote. You can just mumble stuff, but a shofar is a wake-up call. You can't, rehearse it, right? Well, I mean, Tiffany, you can, but the rest of us can't really rehearse it. Okay, there's a hand over here. Right? Did you have a hand up? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, Ram.
What we discussed was that the sound of the shofar is a communal element that represents the season and the tradition that's being celebrated, and it will be a call to something that's known, and it's a mitzvot.
Beautiful. Okay, excellent. Can you just say your name, please, because I don't know it?
Yes, my name's Austin. Nice to meet everybody. I'm
Hi.
kind of summarizing a couple points from our group, one of which was the communal aspect of it. The shofar brings people together and kind of weaves everyone in this communal action. And secondly, Judaism isn't all about prayer. It's also about commandment and obligation. And the shofar could be viewed as a kind of that commandment, that obligation, akin to a bris or bar bat mitzvah. It's fulfilling a commandment. So prayer is insufficient. That's why the shofar would be a commandment.
Nice. We're a people of doing, a people of action.
Yes.
So
Yep.
performing this action, even the hearing part of it, not the sounding the shofar, is extremely important and causes us to be fully participating. Nice. Thanks.
Hello, Naomi. Well, the shofar is without language, so it doesn't require translation to be understood.
Beautiful. Did you guys hear that? The shofar is without language. And Maurice has talked, where's Maurice? Maurice has talked a lot about that, right? The shofar has its own language in a way that's not English, but it's its own powerful language. Beautiful. So it doesn't require translation. Anybody can understand it in their own way. Beautiful. Where did the mic go? Yes, please.
Hi, my name's Miriam. Just from a personal point of view, what just popped into my head was when I pray, it's the here and now. I don't have to think about the past, but when I hear the shofar, it really brings me back to my childhood when I was in synagogue with my parents, and we went to every service all the time, and it's kind of in my brain, so it brings back those memories, and it's
Well,
really
that's so
special.
nice. All these senses, right? I remember when I was a kid, really little, my mom would put cloves in oranges. Did any of you guys do that? For I guess for all the grandmas that were going to be faint, and we'd pass these out. And I just remember sitting there and smelling it. It was sort of my most kind of visceral memory from Yom Kippur, long before I paid any attention to who the rabbi was or what the guy was saying at the front of the sanctuary. I felt like I was part of something else through these sort of other senses. Nice, thanks. Yes.
Yes. Can I hear?
Sophia.
Okay, so I kind of was also looking at, there's an etiquette of the sender and the receiver, an etiquette. So I was thinking of how Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. So here I'm thinking, wait a minute, back there, the shofar was almost like texting each other, communicating. So therefore, I was just using technology of today's communication where everybody could hear the message. They knew the rules of speak and the other one. So I don't know if it makes any sense.
You're right on. I mean, the shofar was used as a call to the community to announce a new moon or to announce something from hilltop to hilltop. Very much so. It's a wake up. Yeah.
Just one other that probably starts the whole thing. The commandment is to hear shofar, not blow it, but to hear it. So it seems that it's, obvious that the most important, if the commandment is to hear it, it's not to say the prayer, it's to hear it. And then I can spend hours talking about why.
Well, it's not blowing the shofar, it's not making a shofar, it's not polishing a shofar, although you're expert at all of those things.
It's just hearing it.
Right, that is enough. That is the commandment. Nice. Nancy had her hand up.
No, Maurice just said exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
If you're commanded to fulfill this mitzvah, you got to hear it.
You have to hear it. It does something. Ruth? Wait, hold on. I don't want to get yelled at for no microphone, please. Thank you.
People of all ages, and even those with minimal hearing, can hear a shofar. Children don't necessarily understand prayer, but if they hear a shofar, they know they need to wake up.
Nice. Anybody else? Any other good? Jonathan, go way. Here we go.
This is more in form of a question, but we were discussing the possibility that shofar was unique to Judaism way back when, and whereas prayers were not unique to Judaism. Is that possible? Did any other sect use shofars?
Oh my gosh, if someone else asked that question, I would say we have to ask Jonathan, because here we go. Here's the answer. I was going to say you would be our music historian. I don't know, but maybe Maurice can tell us the answer to that.
Actually, in India, there is a brass horn that looks almost exactly like a shofar. The vavula that is used in Brazil could also look like a shofar.
But they they're not horn, right? They're like animal horn?
They're not animal horns, but there are cultures who have made horns out of lots of non-kosher things. Like there are some beautiful all ivory horns, which is not, you can't make a kosher shofar out of that. So there are other cultures, but I think Jonathan is mostly right that there are very few that have it so built into biblical text, that idea that shofar's mentioned 72 times in Torah. So it's a very important piece of ritual and then Jewish life 1,000 years ago. And my favorite thing about sound is that at the time that the shofar was made, that was the loudest sustained sound humankind had ever heard. You can beat on something and make a louder sound. But blowing, I checked it out one time, a shofar blows at about 102 decibels. And that's a lot of sound in a world that had no engines, no jets, no nothing.
No amplification. Well, and of course, the shofar comes from the story of the Akedah, the ram rustling in the thicket, who saved Isaac from this, knife plunging into him. So as soon as we remember that we're connected to that story, there's a whole other meaning that comes to us, not just to wake us up, but to think back over the generations of how it's been used. Beautiful. Any other ideas?
Well, all that noise, of course, could remind us of that very noisy moment of revelation at Sinai. And as you know, we were all there. So it could bring up a subconscious memory of that.
Nice. Of celebration, too, and of receiving the law. All these things that have happened through history. Beautiful. Well, so say the rabbis that it is our obligation, much more important, to have the possibility of hearing the shofar, because something extraordinary just might happen. So we'll see. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And thank you, Zach, very much.
I didn't get to share mine.
Oh, please. Zach has something important to say.
And
Forgot.
my 2 cents is that you pray all the time, at least you did, But you hear the shofar only like twice a year, probably actually more. But so you hear the shofar and you're like, oh, okay, this just got really real.
Yeah, and also the seasons, right? I mean, Judaism is so based on kind of our connection to nature and the seasons in the calendar. So as we are reminded, as Zach said, hey, we're back in that beginning of the year time, right? We're back in Tishrei, and here we go. Coming up is Yom Kippur and Sukkot, and it keeps us in the rhythm of our calendar. Lovely. Great. Yes? I'll bring in a couple of weeks, sometime in the next few weeks. There's this great text that I love about accidentally hearing shofar. So we could talk about that. Your poor neighbors are constantly observing this commandment, right? No mute on a shofar, no. Wonderful. Well, I am very much looking forward to hearing the shofar in this space, and just in a little while by our new Baalat Kriya, who has made her own shofar and is going to bring that sound into our sanctuary tonight. When we are together, we have the privilege to think about things going on in our lives, things that we want to share with each other, things that are coming up, simchas, happy occasions. So Trish, we're very proud of you on the occasion of your, was it hard? The Beit Din, was it hard passing your, They were so mean. Well, I hear you passed with flying colors. I'm glad it was hopefully a good experience. We look forward to celebrating when you come back from the mikvah. So very exciting. Other simchas, smachot, happy things. Yes, Michael. Oh, you know, we should, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I forgot, Michael Flairman.
Professional microphone runner. 2 weeks ago, our oldest daughter, Rachel, who's a member of the synagogue, also got married.
Mazal tov! That's excellent. Where did she get married? Awesome! Mazel tov!
Hello.
Naomi.
Well, I'm very proud of my friend Trish. And also on Sunday, I'm leaving for Europe for the first time. And I'll be there for the High Holy Days, and I hope to hear a shofar and go toward that and find community there.
Where will you be on Rosh Hashanah?
In Paris.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, well, there is definitely a Jewish community to be had. Wonderful. Have a great trip. Nesia tova. Other exciting things. Ruth, and then Helene, and then I didn't see any other hands, but maybe there were. Oh, and Eric.
Today is Dave and my 32nd wedding anniversary, where we were married right here on that bima.
I remember when you got married, which is saying a lot, because usually I can only say that to people who've been married for a couple of years. So, Mazal tov. That's really, really exciting.
So today was the first meeting of the Jewish Club at school, and there were so many beautiful reminders of how deeply interconnected the Bay Area Jewish community and the larger Jewish community is. Lots of rich interconnections and people who know people. My club vice president is active in the RAC and has Rabbi Sachs Toller on speed dial, among other things. It was really just beautiful and lovely and well attended, which was great.
That's awesome. And are you the faculty representative to this club?
Yeah, I'm the advisor to the club. I had one young man who came up with a confused look and a phone in his hand. He's a freshman. I'd never seen him before. And he said, "My mother wants to know if you know Arlene Krieger."
I hope you said no.
I said, "Why, yes, I did."
That's awesome. Elaine.
Well, speaking of Rabbi Sachs Toller and RAC California, we have reached our goal of many phone calls to try to pass SB 233,
Yay.
the bi-directional battery bill, which left the Appropriations Committee and is on its way to be voted on, where we think it will pass. Also, there has been some amendments we don't know quite what they are, but yay for us, and there may be another ask for making more phone calls, so expect it from us.
Yay for repairing the world, Social Action Committee. Yay. Good job. Mazal tov. Yes, Shira.
So my mentee, Rachel, passed all that she needed to do, and this weekend she's getting married. And unfortunately won't be here for Rosh Hashanah because she'll be on her honeymoon. But I just wanted to let everyone know that it's been a delight working with her, and I'm really proud.
Well, Mazal Tov to Rachel and to you. It's wonderful. I say it every time we talk about this, to have our incredible mentors as part of this program of welcoming people into the community. So we look forward to giving Rachel a blessing when she's back from her incredible travels, and you'll come up too. Thank you for sharing that. Mazal Tov to them. Okay. Yes, Sophia.
Yes, I'm going to be taking a vacation from Sophia, from myself. And I did the courageous thing of I'm going into rehab for a 45 to 90-day break from this person. I've just been stressed out from a lot, and I'm happy. I've already punched out. I'm leaving Tuesday, but you are my family, and I'll be watching you on Zoom when I'm in treatment. So it's not something serious, but I don't want to end up making any bad decisions. So.
Mazel tov. We wish you strength and courage on this journey and look forward to seeing you when you come home. We'll be here waiting for you. In honor of all of these wonderful things and so many upcoming, thank you, we stand together and join with Simon in thanking God for giving us life and sustaining us and enabling us to reach this day.
Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, lazman hazeh. Amen.
We turn to page 282 for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, ולא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Please be seated. We turn to page 295. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. On this Shabbat, we remember during the time of Shloshim, Margaret Scheinman. I invite you to stand. Mel will stand with you in just a moment. And John Weston, grandfather of Sigal and Asher. Please remain standing. If anyone else is observing Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days of mourning, please stand and share a name with us. If you are observing the first year of mourning, I know the Flahermans, in addition to celebrating a wonderful simcha, are in the first year of mourning. Would you share your mom's name?
Linda
Silverman.
Sheldon Lavin, my grandfather.
Roger. Philip Bergman.
My brother Jay Crofton, my mother-in-law Anita Euler.
The perpetual memorial in our congregation is Sarah Ethel Epstein. The yahrzeit anniversaries on this Shabbat are, please stand as your loved one's name is read, Janet Barnett, George Berman, Annette Kogan, Keith Goldfarb, Belle W. Harris, Felicia Spiro Yerchaimovich, Conrad Magrish, Rosalind Marglis, Sam Newman, Robert J. Pincus, Michael Rantz, Leonard Weinberg, Ethel Covton Wilbur. Are there other yahrzeits we observe on this Shabbat? Zichronam, please.
I want to dedicate this to the 846 victims of accidental overdoses in the streets of the San Francisco city for the year 2022 that just came out of the numbers.
Thank you. Zichronam livracha, may the memory of all of the righteous who came before be a blessing. We remember them with Kadisha Tome, page 294. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei rabba, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'almei almaya, Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Trish, come on up. We need you to hold our cup of wine. That's all you have to do. And we'll turn to page 5 as we join together with Simon in Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lemase bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher tziyad Mitzrayim, ki vanu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol
Awesome. And now I'd like to invite some important people to come up here. Michelle, is that Isaac running all over out there? Isaac, you did so great singing and dancing all through the service. We're going to need his help with the challah. Ruth, we need you to come up too. I was just saying he did so great. He was up here, I don't remember how many months ago for his naming, and now he's like our Shabbat dancer. What did you say? That's excellent. That's excellent. I don't blame you at all. I think that's a great idea. And Ruth and Tiffany, will you come up too, please? We have a chance to say Motzi, and maybe will you just say a little something? How old is Isaac, and how are you doing? And since when does he dance on Shabbat, all up and down? That was so great, dancing and singing.
Isaac is about a year and a half old now, so we're not quite qualified for the Shereth Israel preschool just yet.
But almost.
Yeah, we've been trying to come to services, not successfully at Friday nights, but he's
a big fan of Bim Bum, so if you want to do a
Bim Bum. Oh yeah, that's a request.
And the dinosaur. Well, I'm sure Simon can help out with that request later on.
Yep.
The dinosaur song. Well, I think you did.
You say Shabbat? No.
You say Shabbat Shalom? You're gonna have to help us take off the challah cover, but Ruth is gonna tell us what she made, and then Isaac is gonna help you hold this up.
Which one do you want? Okay.
That's fine.
good. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jessica beat me to the punch of calling out Simon's song. Shoes.
Oh, socks.
I mean, socks. Gosh. Anyway. In the month of Elul, we're commanded to hear the shofar. Well, I couldn't help with that, but I did make one that you can see and eat, which is also interactive, and it's got applesauce and honey just to get us ready for the next 2 weeks from now when there'll be a real Rosh Hashanah challah.
Amazing. Well, Isaac, will you help Ruth take off that challah cover, please, so we can bless this beautiful challah?
Hold the scarf.
Hands are full.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Not as pretty as Tiffany's, but, you know, it's more edible. Oh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
And the moment we've all been waiting for is our Balat Tekiah blowing the shofar that she made. Tekiah! Tekiah Gedolah! Koach. Shabbat Shalom. Please turn to the people around you and join us following at the Oneg.